Evidently, I don't really know how to light a scene very well, so if it looks like my skin is cooking off of my bones, it's because the light is literally right in front of me. So if you have any lighting tips, leave those in the comments for me. Anyways, today we're going to talk about a concept that we touched on before, but I found a video that explains it in 3 minutes better than I was able to explain it in like 16, and it's from HiFight. I'm not going to steal his video bar for bar. This is not a reaction video or anything like that, but I'm going to steal this little graphic he made because it's super useful. Real quick, before I explain everything, though, and give up all the secrets, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subs before Street Fighter 6 comes out, and let's just be honest with each other, I'm very far from that. And based on the trends every month of the amount of subs that I get, we'll get there in like 2032. So I figured I'd just ask real quick, and maybe we can change the swing of things so we can get to 10,000 before the end of the decade. Now, if we take a look at this graphic, let's start there at the top where it says hit attack. Now, what does that mean? What does hit attack mean? Let me hop in the game and I'll show you an example real quick. A hit attack is exactly what it sounds like. It's you walking forward, pressing a button that hits your opponent. The genius part about HiFight's video, though, is the real emphasis on the part where you have to walk forward or dash forward in order to make the attack connect with your opponent, because that's where your weakness lies. That's where you or your opponent can take advantage, is whenever you have to move into that space. But how do we even do that? Well, let's take a look at the Holy Trinity again. You can see there in the bottom left, it's something called a cover attack. This is a move that you throw out to take up space to stop your opponent from walking forward, or to cover the area that they want to get into in order to attack. It doesn't always have to be them walking forward. They just want to get into their effective range, and you're putting an attack out there that covers that range, and you can buffer things behind it in order for a special move to come out once your cover attack does connect. As soon as I read that on the HiFight video, I could only think of a single button. One button that perfectly encapsulates that concept. Let me show it to you real quick. If you've ever played Street Fighter 5, you know exactly, all too well, how annoying this can be. A lot of Ryu players, I mean, they make it a liability for you to even take a step forward because they are mashing crouch medium kick and they're buffering donkey kick behind it, right? So eventually when it does connect, a donkey kick will come out. But obviously high-level play is not Ryu just mashing crouch medium kick all day. There has to be some counterplay to it, right? It's not an unbeatable option. That's where we get into our third and final part of the Footsies triangle, the Holy Trinity, whatever you want to call it, whiff punishing. Let's go back to that same situation. Ryu's over here spamming crouch medium kick because he doesn't want me to get in and press stand medium punch or something, right? It's a pretty powerful weapon on Cammy. So he's trying to keep me out as much as possible because, of course, Cammy is very lethal up close. But I know that all he's doing is crouch medium kick. So what can I do? He's just spamming a cover attack, and I can't get in. I just whiff punish it. I just punish the recovery frames of it because he has whiffed an attack, and I can now whiff punish. Sometimes you can do it preemptively because I know, obviously because I set him up as a bot, but I know that a crouch medium kick is just coming one after another. So I can preemptively just throw this out, and I know it's going to whiff punish. But more commonly, you'll do it on reaction. You know, maybe you walk into this range a lot and you notice he is whiffing a certain button over and over again. A lot of the times, Ryu players will like to whiff this button, right? Forward heavy punch. It's a very big part of his kit. They love using it. But if you space yourself right, it will just whiff right in front of you and you get a huge whiff punish. It's very easy to whiff punish, you know, because it's very slow. Takes a long time to recover. Now, if we take a look at the entire triangle as a whole, these are the 3 states of neutral that you're moving in and out of, that you're dynamically moving through with your opponent to try and figure them out, and they're trying to figure you out. Whether they're thinking about all this stuff, you don't know. But if you do, if you at least try and implement it, I mean, I'm making this video because I obviously have trouble doing this myself, so it helps me to teach you to like jog my own memory, right? But if you try to at least understand the different states of neutral that you're in, it does help. You know, it does help. It gives some structure to the way that you think while you're playing the game. Whether your opponent does it or not is not your concern. You know, you're trying to get better. So that's why things like this are important. It's to give you structure. And to explain the diagram as a whole a little bit better, you can see the arrow is pointing at what that certain attack beats, right? So a hit attack beats a whiff punish because we're not whiffing. We're hitting them. We're getting into range so that we aren't whiffing. A whiff punish beats a cover attack because it is whiffing, trying to just take up space, right? And then a cover attack will beat a hit attack because it stops the opponent from getting into the space where they can press a button, right? You're shutting them down before they get to the punch. I hope you'll take the 3 minutes to check out HiFight's video. I'll leave it down in the description below. This is just how I understood it, right? This is just kind of like my analysis. It's much, I think it's much better than just watching the video and making a couple little pog faces, like just doing a reaction video to HiFight's video. This is how I interpreted it, and this is how I understood it in my own words. So I hope it helped you. If it did, please consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you again very soon.